so now here a product passes through three distinct processes for completion. Three processes are A, B and C respectively. During the week, units produced, the following information is given. Okay, so now here these are the informations given. So, and C, material, we have 10,000, 4,000, labor, 6,000, 6,000 and 2,000. We have 2,000, 800 and 1,600. The indirect expenses for the period were rupees 5,600, 5,600, apportioned for the process on the basis of wages. Okay, so now here it is proportion on the basis of wages. Prepare process accounts. Okay, so now here this is a simple information given, no much information is given. Okay, so using this information we need to prepare process account. So A, particulars, input, cost per unit. Next we have total cost. Okay, so these are the information we need to record over here. So now here first the input they have given. Okay, so one more, there are 2,000 units were produced. Okay, 2,000. So that is input is 2,000. Okay, so total value of materials is 10,000. Right? So cost per unit would be 10,000 divided by 2,000. That would be 5. Next we have labor. Labor is 6,000. Direct expenses, 2,000. Indirect expenses, 2,400. Okay, so this is the information. So now here nothing is mentioned about the normal loss or abnormal loss. So we don't have anything to record on that side, right? So this is the total information that we have got about this process. So make the total of both the columns here. 2,000. So here 20,400. Okay, so now the amount has to be transferred to the next process. So transfer to process B. Okay, so that is 2,000. So right here process B. Transfer from process A to here process A 2,000, then 20,400. So your CPU becomes 20,400 divided by 2,000, that comes to 10.20. This is 10.20. So record all other expenses over here. So materials, $4,000. Labor, 6,000. Direct expenses, 800. Indirect expenses, okay, so now here what would be indirect expenses? This indirect expenses has to be approached. Okay, so wages is how much? That is labor 6,000, 6,000 and 2,000. Nothing but what? 3:3:1. Okay, so now again here it is 2,400. So it has to be on the basis of 3:1. Right? So that becomes 2,400, 2,400, okay, and 800. Okay. A, B, and C. Okay, it has to be apportioned on that basis. So we are indirect expenses 2,400. So we don't have any other things to record over here. So make a total. Okay, so now here 2,000. This side 33,600. So your cost per unit would be 16.80. This divided by this. So this has to be transferred to the next process. Transfer to process C. Okay, so now here this is process C. Okay, the same thing we'll have to record from process B it is. Okay, so process B will have transfer 2000. 16.80 and 33,600. Okay, so record material. $4,000. Labor 2,000. Direct expenses 1,600. And indirect expenses. Okay, so now here indirect expenses is a portion on the basis of wages that comes to 800. Okay, so make a total of this that comes to 2,000, and here it is 42,000. Okay, so in this side also we will write the total. This has to be transferred to finished stock account. Transfer to finished stock. So here 2,000. So 42,000. 42,000 divided by 2,000, that comes to 21 per unit. Here also. Okay, so we can take up the next problem. Product X is obtained after it passed through 3 distinct processes. The following cost information is available for the operation. Okay, so they have given the details about 3 processes. So now here this is and 3. Okay. materials, $625. Okay, direct wages, then production, $500 units at rupees 4 per unit were introduced in process 1. Unit was introduced, okay, in process 1. Production overheads are absorbed as a percentage of direct wages. That is nothing but what? Apportioned. The basis of direct wages. The actual output and normal loss of the respective, okay, processes are, here they are given, okay, in units, and then normal loss, and then value of scrap. Okay, so value of scrap, maybe here it is on the basis of rupees. So it is 450. Normal loss is 10% for rupees 2. It is 3. 20%. It is 4. It is 270. 25%. Then it is 5. There is no stock or work in progress in any of the process. Okay, so we need to prepare a process account based on these. Okay, so now first we will prepare the process 1. Okay, so now here we can see units introduced were 500 at rupees 4 per unit. in process 1. Okay, so this has to be recorded over here. So units introduced. Okay, so units are 500. Okay, total rupees for 4 CPU is given. So total cost comes to 2000. Okay, so next we need to go on recording all these things. Okay, so materials, wages and other things. So here materials, $2,600 for process A. Then wages, it is 2,250, and production overheads, okay, so now here they have given production overheads to be apportioned on the basis of direct wages, right? So direct wages is, okay, so on this basis we need to go on apportioning. Okay, so now here if we apportion, okay, production overheads, that is 7,330, right? So it will come on this basis. Okay, so now here it comes to 2,250. Okay, you can just apportion, okay, based on the direct wages. Okay, so now here it comes to 2,250. Okay, now all the details are, okay, written this side. Now we need to record normal loss, right? So what is the normal loss that we need to find out? So now here what they have given, normal loss is 10%, right? So we can record over here. Normal loss, 10% of input. Okay, so input is how much over here? 500. Okay, so 10% of 500. That comes to 50. Then we need to check the other details over there. Okay, so we can just check if there are any, okay, working notes. Through working notes you can check normal loss, normal output, if there is any abnormal loss or abnormal gain, right? Okay, so now here we can see the value of scrap is ₹2 they have given. Okay, value of scrap is nothing but what? The loss. Okay, so the loss amount they have given, so 50 into 2. Here we can take, that comes to 100. Okay, so anyway we will have a working notes. First we will find out what is the normal loss. Normal loss is equal to 10% of input, that comes to 50. Then we will find out what is normal output. Okay, normal output is input minus normal loss. So input is 500 minus 50, that comes to 450 as normal unit. Okay, so now here what is the actual output? Actual output is 450, and how much you should produce? You should produce 450, right? So there is equality, how much is expected and how much you have produced, both are 450. So there is no normal loss or abnormal gain in the process, so we don't have anything, so both are equal. Okay, so now here you can write actual output, that is 450, is equal to normal output, that is 450. Okay, but we need to find out what is the cost per unit over there. So cost per unit is equal to total expenses minus scrap value divided by normal output. Okay, so total expenses is, we can make a total of this side. That is 9,100 Okay, so right total is 9,100 minus scrap value we have calculated, that is 100, divided by normal output we have found out, that is 450. That comes to rupees 20. So your CPU is how much? 20, that is to be transferred to the next process. Actual output to be transferred to process 2. Okay, so here 500 minus, okay, 450 is 450. Okay, 9,100 minus 100 is 9,000. So your CPU would be 20. The same has to be recorded in process 2 as well. So enter the records. So from process 1, it is 450, 20, that is 9,000. Then materials, it is 2,000. Then we have wages, that is 3,680. Next we have production overhead. So now here we can see production overheads has to be apportioned on the basis of direct wages. So here the direct wages is, means both are equal, so it will also come to 3,680. So since we don't have any other things to record, we can make a total of this. Okay, so total comes to 450. Here it is 18,360. Okay, so now normal loss, how much they have given for process 2, it is 20% is the normal loss. So we can prepare working note. Normal loss, that is 20% of input. So 20% is 450 of 450, that comes to 90 units. Okay, we can write it here, normal loss. Okay, so that is 90. Okay, and how much they have given? The scrap value, rupees 4. Okay, the same has to be recorded over here. 90 to 4, that comes to 360. Okay, so now we need to find out what is normal output. So normal output is equal to input minus normal loss. So input is how much? We have taken 450 minus normal loss is how much? 90. That comes to 360 units is the normal output. So what is the actual output? Here it is 340. Okay, so actual output you should be producing 340, but how much you have produced? 360. Sorry, normal output is 360 you should be producing, but how much you have produced? 340, right? Means there is a deficiency or the difference of 20 units, right? So this difference of 20 units could be because of carelessness or because of maybe on the fault of the management, right? Because of which your actual output is coming down. So we will write it here. Here we call it as what? Abnormal loss. Abnormal loss is equal to normal output minus actual output. So the normal is 350, but you have produced how much? 340 only. So there is abnormal loss of 20 units. Okay, so that has to be recorded over here. Before we record, we need to find out what is CPU, cost per unit. Okay, so write the formula here. Total expenses divided by normal output. Okay, so your total expenses, we have made the total 18,360 minus the scrap value we have found out, that is 360, divided by normal output we have calculated, that is 360. Okay, if we arrive at the total figure, it comes to rupees 50. That has to be recorded over here. So abnormal loss $20, CPU we have found out 50, total comes to 1000. We don't have anything else to record, so the difference has to be transferred to the next process, that is process 3. So here 450, 18,360 transferred to process 3. Okay, so it has to be transferred to process 3. So the difference is 270, and here it is 21,600 difference. This divided by this comes to 80. Sorry, how much it is? 17,000 is the difference here. So this divided by 340 it comes to. So the difference is 50. Means CPU is 50. The same has to be transferred to process 3. So let us record from process 2 how much it is coming to. 340 go on recording all other details here. So materials, $1,025, wages 1,400, production overheads. So production overheads has to be apportioned on the basis of direct wages. So here it comes to 1,400. Okay, so now we need to find out what is the normal loss. So we will prepare a working note for that. So your working note, normal loss. So normal loss is how much? Normal loss is 25% of the input. So now here 25% of input is 340. That comes to 85 units. Okay. Next we need to find out what is normal output. Okay. So normal output is input minus normal loss. Input is 340 minus normal loss is 85. That comes to 255 units. Okay, so next we will find out whether it is abnormal gain or abnormal loss. So now here normal output is how much? 255. Actual output has to be 270. Okay, so normally you should be producing 255, but how much you have produced? You have produced 270. So definitely there is a gain. So here we will write abnormal gain is equal to normal output minus actual output. Normal is 255. Actual is 270. Okay, so there is no minus figure over here. Okay, means your actual is more than normal. So don't write it as a minus figure or negative figure. So here 50 units is extra you have produced, nothing but what? That is abnormal gain. Gain we'll have to write this side. Abnormal gain is 15 units. So for this we need to find out what is CPU, cost per unit, apply the formula, total expenses minus scrap value divided by normal output. Total expenses, we can make a total this side. Okay, so total it comes to 22,025. Here it is 355. So 22,000. Okay, so now here without, okay, I was telling you that without abnormal gain. Okay, so we need to find out the total cost without abnormal gain figure. That comes to 20,825 minus scrap value. Okay, so that we need to find out. So normal loss 25% of input that we have already written over there, that is 340. It is coming to 85. So what is the scrap sale? 5. So 85 into 5, that comes to 425. So 425 is the scrap value divided by normal output we have found out, that is 255. So this comes to rupees 80. The same thing has to be recorded over here. 15 into 80, that comes to 1,200. Okay, so the total 22,025. It has to be recorded this side too. Okay, so now this has to be transferred to finished stock. Since it is the last process